Well, hey guys, good to see you. Got some people joining. Hey, Sanitra, it is so cool to have you join us. And if you are popping in with us and you've got some questions you'd like to be able to ask about our Step in the Gap uh, series that we have going and all the ministry plans we have for 2023, we would love to be able to hear those things. Today, what I have is I have our family ministry pastor with us here. And so let's pull Krista up. Hey, Krista. So good to
Hello.
have you. If you don't know Krista, Krista oversees all of our family ministries, which includes birth all the way through college. And, the kids part of it, I think we generally all get, but we don't all understand kind of the marriage and family component. And I know you want to make some steps and strides into that this next year. So the thing that I wanted to be able to talk to you about and have you kind of share with everyone here is when you came back after I said, "Hey, go and ask God what He wants you to do for 2023." You came back with this idea. I'm just calling it a family ministry hub. I don't really know that we put a name on it, but could you describe rather than me just giving it a name, can you describe for the people that are here what it is, the resource, this it's a pretty big resource actually, this giant thing that you would like to be able to accomplish with family ministries?
Yeah, so most people, when they think of family ministries, they only think of what takes place on a Sunday morning, as far as like your little kids that come in, or your elementary students that are dropped off, or even your students who have activities throughout the week. That's really all that they really consider as far as family ministries. I mean, it really goes so much more than that. Um, they probably would be surprised the number of questions we get throughout the week, or phone calls we get. I used to joke that I didn't know part of being a children's pastor was being listed as a emergency contact on a form at school. I was listed for emergency contact for parents for many, many years. I've been to schools to pick up kids who were sick or things many, many times. So that family ministry reach goes really far outside of a typical Sunday morning. And so my dream, I think, for a family ministry hub is a place that parents could go that is just full of resources for parents of any age, or I guess any family, of any age child. So that would go from a little teeny baby. So the parent could go on there and they could find resources on potty training, or what it's like when my child is teething, or what it's like to deal with a sleepless child, or I'm not getting any sleep. What do I do now? Or how do I connect as a new parent to my husband? How do we reconnect? How do we have date nights when we have toddlers? Those kind of things. To how do I deal with bullying for my elementary school child? Or what I do now that my teenager doesn't want to talk to me and they spend all their time in their room. Or what do I do when my child's graduating and I'm, sad and I don't want to see them leave and go to school? Or what do I do now that I have a young adult in the home and I have to learn how to parent them from a distance? Or they've gone to school now and I'm trying to balance that I have to be their parent, but I don't get to be the parent that's present with them all the time anymore. Or maybe they have adult children now and they have to learn how to parent um, with them out of the home, and they're making their own decisions, but they're just as a supportive role now, and it's different. Or maybe they're a grandparent now and they're trying to figure out how they can influence a different generation. So they're still parenting adult children, but now they have a grandparent influence on younger children. Or maybe you're just a new couple and you're trying to find ways to strengthen your marriage, and you're working on that. Those are things that I would love to see, this kind of like hub of information where you go in and there's all sorts of resources there for date night ideas, or how to celebrate holidays, and bring Jesus into all different celebration ideas. Or maybe there's resources for what kind of Bibles to buy your children at different ages that they're at, or just resources for all different things. Maybe your child is dealing with depression and you're not sure what to do with it, and you have a young child, or a teenager, and you're just not sure what steps to take. There will be a resource that you could go in and you could research that. And we have a lot of parents that call us. They they reach out, and I've had parents call me at 9 o'clock at night and go, "Hey, my kid needs somebody to talk to," and they've shown up at my house at 9:30. Or I've reached out to their child late at night, and I love that part of my job. That is my favorite part of my job. I mean, I don't want to see a child in distress, but I'd rather you call me so that I could talk to your child. That is probably my favorite part of what I get to do. Um, but some parents don't know me well enough to feel like they can do that. And so I'd rather them, if they're in the middle of the night, not knowing what to do, I'd rather them have a place they can go, that they can research something and maybe find something they don't feel as alone in the middle of the night. They can find a resource they can at least read through and feel a little bit of hope before the next morning comes. And so that's kind of what I picture, at least a place they can go. We can say, hey, here's a card. Go here, see if you can find some information. There's at least some resources there that you can go to. And it could be updated. There's lots of links. There's lots of things that they could use. Counseling center resources, just a variety of things that can be used at all different times, no matter where you're at in your span of your life.
I love that this is something that I mean, it's going to reside digitally. So no matter when someone has a question or, needs a help or a resource, that we can point them and just say, hey, have you gone to wherever it is we decide to call this thing? Have you checked
Right.
out the hub? And I, you gave lots of great examples. I mean, just I'm struggling with this with my kid, and how do you go anywhere from potty training to my kid's severely depressed. What can I do? And what you showed me, and at least in your idea, what I love about this is really what we're going to take is all this information is already out there, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to get to sometimes. So I think putting it
Right.
in one central place where we're not going to create all these resources.
Right.
That would be a monumental task on already a top of a monumental task. But pulling all these resources together so that people inside of our church, hey, just go there and you can find some things out. I know where my brain went when you were telling me this, though, is outside the walls of our church. How valuable could this be in our community? So if we just use our channels that we have through Instagram and YouTube and Google, Facebook, just letting the community know, hey, here is information about just about
Right.
everything you could ever imagine about, how to be a better spouse, how to
Right.
be a better parent, how to get your questions answered. I love where my brain was going is just that we could be known as someone when it comes to families, we're helpful.
Right.
And,
That
you
we
know,
just care about them and that they're, because families are too important. So many families today are searching, parents are searching. Every parent wants to be a good parent, you know,
yeah.
that's what they want. They want the best for their kids. All of us want the same thing. And so, I think if you're not providing those resources to families, you're missing a huge opportunity, to help them. And so I think what better place can we be than right there providing what they're already asking for and searching for? So I think we're just putting ourselves in a great position.
Yeah. And it seems like we probably say this every generation, right? Like, I think it's harder now to be a parent than,
Right.
to be honest, when my parents were parenting me. You had to worry about whether or not I fell off a bike, and hit my head or
Right.
something. That was their major concern. There's so many things, from how do I keep my kids safe on the internet
Yes.
to they're coming home and asking me questions about things that they're learning, from their friends at school or whatever. Like, holy cow! Like,
Yes.
and we're not alone as Christians asking these
Right.
questions. All of our community feel over their head, I think. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, you and I, we are parenting now some adult children.
Right.
Your oldest one is this
19.
her second year in college now?
Yes.
Yeah. So second year in college. I've got one that's done with college. I've got two in college. When we started, I don't know how you felt. I felt like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just having the ability to have a resource to say, hey, as a church, we have some things that are helpful. I'm really excited about, and thank you for the dream and for the vision to be able to do that. I know there are so many other things that we could talk about in family ministry, but we're trying to really keep our
Right.
time on this short. Thank you for sharing, but really, truly, thanks for being our family ministries pastor. I know I hear some of the secondary stories, kids being not dropped off at your door is kind of the wrong word, but children, young, what I would say middle school, high school students. Thank you for what you're doing and pouring into their lives, and we look forward
I
to
I
watching
love
them.
them.
Yeah, I
I
know you do.
think sometimes people don't understand how valuable they are, and it is a pleasure to serve them. So,
Yeah. Well, guys, we spent our time here. I don't look. I see we got a few people live with us, but you didn't have any questions for Krista. So if you don't have any,
yay!
if you don't have any questions for her, we're going to send out more information as we go through the rest of this week, talking about the different ministry areas here at Next Level that in 2023 we're looking to add a few things to, we're looking to improve to. And all of these areas are in a couple of categories. One is people who are already attending here. We want to do some things for them. But what do we do for our immediate community that is right around us, where we live, work, and play? What are the things that we plan to do to be helpful to them, to lead them to life? And so can't wait to share some of those things with you. I hope you have a fantastic, what is it, just afternoon now. I hope you have a great lunch. And we look forward to seeing you all through the week on our social channels here. And if we don't see you there, we hope we see you on Sunday. Love you guys. See you.